Good morning muna ako sa kanila. Although we are not yet really starting, but I'd like to say welcome and good morning to all of those who are already here, both from Facebook and Zoom. 196. Good morning, Jennifer. Oh, also Leah. Maayong
Ah,
buntag, Raul. Good morning, Francis. We're probably going to reach the maximum 500. The registrants are actually 1,000, if I'm not mistaken, 1,700 plus. So we will see a lot of them sa Facebook. Yan. Sarah May, good morning. Padamihin muna natin ng konti. Good morning muna. Jexter, Edgar, good morning. Then sa mga nasa Facebook, good morning din. Kaway-kaway.
be back.
Oh, from Lapu-Lapu. So we're nationwide. I can see greetings from Angeles City. I'm from Angeles. Pangasinan. We're also from Pangasinan. Grabe, well represented. All right, I think we can start already. So for our beloved teachers who are both at Zoom and at Facebook Live, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Good morning. And welcome to the second round of our DigiTeach from your beloved Philippine Society for Talent and Development. Before we start, let's have a profile, demographic check of our participants. So you can see here the demographic check poll. So just answer them in few seconds. You can actually do this in less than 1 minute. Public school or private school, currently teaching where, age group, magkakaalaman, although we will not identify your name. Leonora, good morning. So for those who are already here, please assign or please answer our short poll. Mabilis lang po yan. Okay, let's check. Nat, how many percent have already responded?
60%, Sir June.
60%. So let's give it a little more. All right. So we can see here our results. So mostly are from public school, currently teaching in almost a tie between primary and secondary, and some from postgraduate. What about age group? Can you show the whole result? I can only see the 2030.
Uh, I'm showing
Yeah,
the
there,
results,
there.
sir.
I can see it. So may 41 to 50, 51 to 60. Wala naman pong 61 to 70, no? Wala naman. All right. Again, good morning, everyone. My name is June Roy. I'm currently the program's chair of the Philippine Society for Talent and Development. I'm also part of the board of trustees. I currently work at Nomura Research Institute as the consulting head for HR. So if we can move to the next slide. So what we're doing now is part of what we call our Oplan Hope. Ito po yung ambag ng PSTD sa Sambayanang Pilipino in helping our teachers, talent developers, trainers to transition to the next normal. And so our advocacy is to help now and gain later. So this is what we're doing now. And next. So we have done a lot of webinars. Some of you have probably attended them. And let me move quickly, Nat, to our DigiTeach. Yes, so there, that DigiTeach, before that, there. So prior to that, we had actually a TNA sprint involving our teachers, and thousands of them attended. And you have spoken, we listened to you. This is the result of that. So today, this is our part of the series on upholding responsible digital citizenship. Leah will be introduced proper later on, but I'm proud because we've been together for a long time. She's been my classmate, my schoolmate, my co-leader, my co-trainer, but I leave that later on. So let's move to the next now. Chillax. We also do chillax, and we have redefined how we do chillax. This is how we learn and play, win and enjoy, and this is something that our talent developers can also do. So we're moving from Saturday to Friday with some prizes. All right. And we are also creating series of webinars, and today we are actually facilitating the how to create and facilitate your own webinar series, and you can see my name there on day 3. That's going to be today, then followed by other programs, and some of you can actually attend that. So let's move on. Okay, so membership benefits. There was a time that PSTD is like only for training and development. So I was part of a group of people who redefined the way we look at talent development. So the ecosystem of talent development now is no longer on the corporate. It's no longer about corporate trainers. Talent developers include our Academe. And so in the board, we also have one person who is from the Academe. And so, mga minamahal naming grupo, part po kayo ng talent development. You are one of the talent developers. So if you become an individual member or your school becomes a member, there's a lot of benefits. One of them basically is the community of practice, because we get to share a lot of knowledge through our network. There are previous and L&D resource. So that's what we're doing now. We're building a community of talent developers so we can gain and share together. All right. And so this is our website. So if you are interested, you can log and check it out. And so let me now move on quickly to our session for today. Before Leah will be introduced, let me first introduce our moderator for today. Our moderator for today is an alumnus of the fellowship program of Teach for the Philippines, where he taught in a public school in Quezon City for 2 years. So kasama po niyo siyang nasa Academe din. So, and even Leah is also in the Academe. In 2015, he joined the staff as a programming and training manager, and then transitioned to be the director for training and development until June 2020. He's a registered nurse and a licensed professional teacher. He is currently pursuing his master's degree in education, major in curriculum studies. His interests include curriculum and program development, training and program delivery, community engagement, and with emphasis, teacher education. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you our moderator for today, Hayden Bale. Mr. Hayden, it's all yours. And good morning, everyone. I'm Jun Roy as your anchor.
Thank you, Jun Roy. So marami pong salamat sa pagdalo sa ating webinar ngayong araw. Kagaya po ng nasabi ni Jun Roy na excited po kami para matuto, no, kasama nyo, to learn from you and to learn with you in this Oplan Hope by the PSTD. All right. So today we will be discussing about upholding responsible digital citizenship in the Academe, because in the new normal there will be limited face-to-face interaction, and as teachers we are called to address the issue and the challenge, and it is expected that we will rely heavily on online use of instruction, and the delivery of instruction will be via the internet and other digital tools. Ito pong presentation na ito will help us teachers to give parang ideas and practical tips on how to safeguard the safety of both the teachers and the learners while being responsible and respectful when using the different digital tools and platform. Okay, so na-excite po kayo dun sa introduction na yun, mas na-excite po tayo para malaman pa at matuto. But before that, I would like to ask everyone to just give you the norms po of this call, just so we know how we can conduct ourselves. So for the duration of the webinar, all of you attendees will be in mute so that we can, manage the flow of information. And if you have questions, please use the Q&A tab of Zoom. So I can see wala pa naman pong mga nagtatanong. Makikita po namin yan later. And if you also have questions, just type your questions sa chat, sa Q&A tab of Zoom. And I'm also on the Facebook Live, so I can also monitor. If you have questions, just type your questions there. And then you can use the chat tab for your comments and inputs. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the topic that we will be discussing today. And finally, we will issue certificates to those who will answer post-evaluation. So please make sure that you stay throughout the webinar and answer the post-evaluation. And we will send the post-evals via email and only if the attendee in Zoom has lasted 40 minutes in the call. So please make sure that you stay po until the end of the webinar. So again, if you have questions, just use the Q&A tab for it. Okay po? Kung okay, pa-heart naman po tayo dyan sa mga nasa Facebook Live. And hello po sa lahat ng mga attendees natin na nandito naman sa Zoom. So marami po tayo ngayon at mukhang max natin yung 500. Alright, so without further ado, we would like to introduce our speaker for today. I saw someone saying hi to our speaker a while ago, so maybe she's a colleague or a professor of yours. But allow me to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Dr. Leah Solmerin-Corpuz. She's the founder and the lead coach and trainer of the LASC Learning Solutions that provides training services for different government agencies and private companies all over the Philippines and other Asian countries. She was a college and graduate school professor for more than 25 years in the Philippines and in the Kingdom of Bahrain. She's also a book author and editor for other professional writers, and she holds a degree of PhD in language education. Ladies and gentlemen, Doc Leah Solmerin-Corpuz.
Thank you so much, Hayden, for that introduction. And of course, to the whole family of the PSTD, thank you for this opportunity to get to interact and meet the different teachers who are registered in this webinar today. Can you give me a go signal if my slides are okay? Yes, all right. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar for today. I believe this is session 2 that is being offered by the PSTD for the group of teachers. And our title is Upholding Responsible Digital Citizenship in the New Normal Teaching. But then again, even before the COVID pandemic, dapat kasi alam na natin that being users of different digital tools, we have to be responsible when using our internet, cell phone, laptop, computer, whenever we hook into the internet. But because of the COVID pandemic, alam natin na medyo iiwasan natin yung ating face-to-face interaction dahil ayaw nating makahawa o mahawa. And so guys, as I have observed, different Facebook friends that I have, or Instagram or Twitter posts, there are some issues that I've listed today based on the 6 principles that are given by the commonsense.org on responsible digital citizenship. So this morning, for the next 35 minutes, I'll be sharing with you these 6 principles that are listed by the commonsense.org. Go ahead and check out their sites. But I was the one who listed the different issues or problems that are anticipated or are observed. And later on, I will give practical tips or suggestions that we teachers can do. You know, the idea is this. It's going to be very difficult now to be having our online classes with our students, and we also have to deal with their parents at the same time. So medyo naglista ako, no? When I have known that there will be online classes, naglista ako ng possible issues that we may encounter. And so here, huwag na nating patagalin. Let's start with the first principle, which is media balance and well-being. This is all about teaching ourselves and our students that we have to set individual media diet plans. Parang yung ano rin lang, nutritional diet. Anything that is too much or kulang is detrimental to our health. And that is the same thing when we use different digital tools. So what are the issues on media balance and well-being? First, the effects of prolonged screen time on the physical and mental well-being of both the teacher and the learner. Yesterday, nanood ako dun sa webinar ni Dr. Sheikh, no? And she was talking about physical and mental well-being. And quality and quantity of materials that need to be processed can have an impact on one's health. So let me go straight now to suggestions for both teachers and their learners. All right, I'm talking to you, teachers. First, paki-check naman po yung quality ng mga online materials na gagamitin natin. The font size, the style, baka naman masyado kung loaded na and it's not eye-friendly anymore. Next, the quantity should be age appropriate. We already know from articles of different child psychologists that very young learners should not even be using digital gadgets and tools. But then you know what is best for your children. Age appropriate. The younger the child, the less number of hours for them to be facing the computer monitor. And so, para po ma-protect natin ang both physical and mental well-being nating teachers and our learners, practical tips. Put reminders for pauses and breaks on your modules. Alam ko ngayon, teachers, you are now busy videotaping your online modules or encoding yung inyong printable modules. Ilagay nyo po explicitly doon, something like this. When you have reached this part, it's time for your water break or bladder break. Kasi when we're so engrossed, pustahan tayo. Since nag-start, di pa kayo uminom ng tubig. Like even in the classroom setup, no, we forget to drink water. There are only 3 food for the break. Water, air, and steam. So mag-set tayo like every 10 minutes, give reminders to our students. Have your water break, breathe or stretch, you know, or you can have eye breaks. Why? Because prolonged exposure, of course, to the computer can lead to eye problems, backache. So, lalagay natin explicit talaga sa ating mga materials. So, it's time to stand and stretch or go to the restroom. Okay, we really have to set our rules straight. You can check this out on braingym.com. I've been using this personally for stress management techniques and even with my students. These are set of exercises that you and your students can do. For example, alam nyo for 15 minutes nakaharap sila sa monitor. Pagod na yung eyes nila. This is one brain gym exercise. Stretch, okay? Stretch like this, your arm. Look at your thumb, your kuko, your thumbnail. And then just fix your eyes on that and make a big infinite sign. And you just follow your kuko with your eyes. Those are just simple ways, things you can do, not to relax your eyes. Just go ahead and check out braingym.org website. Another, you have EFT or emotional freedom techniques. Kung napapansin nyo na stressful na yung lesson o masyado nang loaded, you can tell your students, class, it's time for EFT. You can have tapping. One of my favorite EFTs is tapping around your eye socket. Kasi napagod na ako kakatingin sa mukha ng aking teacher sa Zoom. So I'll just tap this bone around my eyes and it helps me relax. You can also experiment with sound and aromatherapy. Siguro you can embed sa inyong mga video ng soft alpha wave music, which is known to relax the brain. Check also on the height of the keyboard. Ideal height of the keyboard when you have to encode is 2 inches above the lap. That's all about ergonomics. The right distance of the monitor from the eyes is you let the kid stretch the arm. The tip of the longest finger should be touching the monitor. And that should be the minimum distance between your screen and your eyes. Right? If we don't teach that to our children, no, they will have eye problems. Teachers, dun sa quantity ng materials nyo, mag-usap-usap naman kayo. Baka naman lahat kayo sa isang araw, sabay-sabay kayong nagbigay ng online material that they have to be on screen. O kung 8 subjects kayo, that's already 8 hours a day. Tapos nagpa-assignment pa kayo ng gabi. Can you imagine naman, puyat po tayong lahat. Okay, so let's see. Another suggestion, teachers, set a contract with your students. Put all your rules in place. Learning contract in our group chats. This would be my strategy if I were a teacher. Well, I'm not a teacher anymore. I'm now a full-time mother, a part-time trainer, and an overtime wife. So I would set this, I would say, asking of questions would be per group. If I had 50 students, I will group them, maybe 5 members in a group, and then create kayo ng sarili nyong group chat. Mag-list na kayo ng inyong mga questions, and then the leader of that group will collate all the questions. Minsanan ko kayong sasagutin. Why? Kung lahat sila sa group chat nyo nagtanong, lahat yon iba-backread mo, sasagutin mo lahat. Nagigets nyo yung point ko ha? Teachers, try nyo mag-strategize na mabawasan yung kayo mismo ay naandun sa group chat ninyo na nagre-reply sa inyong mga students. Encourage the students to answer each other's questions. Next, set time and strategy for sending of or replying to messages. Gawa kayo ng kontrata with your students at sa kanilang mga parents. Otherwise, pupuyatin nila kayo sa mga questions nila. Sabihin nyo, replying to your messages will only be between 8 and 5 p.m. Ay, may pamilya rin po ako Huwag nyo naman akong kulitin ng gabi. And in the first place, even teachers have children themselves whom they have to guide. This is another thing that I would want to do. Handwritten instructions and outputs that can be screenshot. That is already a bawas to the screen time of the kid. So, kung may output sila, instead na encoded, handwritten. Rationale? 1, they still get to exercise yung kanilang handwriting. Too much typing on the keyboard can cause carpal tunnel syndrome. Pa-exercise pa rin nila ang handwriting. Also, after writing, you screenshot it, send it to me. It's easier for me, teacher, to monitor kung ano yung file na na-send sa akin. Instead na iba-backread ko lahat ng mga sinend na mga outputs. Or you can have an option of a voice recording of instructions or outputs. The main idea is we find ways to limit the amount of time that we are facing the monitor of our smartphone or our laptops. To the parents, you have to help in setting home rules to regulate media diet of our children. A research has shown that majority of people katabi ang cellphone pagtulog. Hey then, katabi ang cellphone pagtulog. So I tell my children, by 9 o'clock, all your cell phones are in my drawer because you have to sleep. And then parents, respect the rights of teachers to be offline to you and to the students beyond the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Hindi porke nakita mo ako, mami, na naka-green at naka-online ako, ibig sabihin, I'm ready to respond to you. By 9 o'clock, I'm busy with my personal conversation with my husband. Okay. Now let's go to the second. But before that, let's take a sip of water. Applicable yung aking tinuro kanina. The second principle is privacy and security. It's all about respecting everyone's privacy and securing ourselves and our ownerships even online. Because what are the problems when we do not teach ourselves and our students about this? Ang dami na po yung mga issues, identity theft, hacking of accounts, dahil nag-check ka ng iyong email sa computer shop, hindi mo naman nilog out, akala mo just because you close the box ay na-log out ka na. Another is phishing. I was thinking last night how you can be a victim ng phishing ng mga parents, ng mga teachers. Pwedeng ganito yan. Somebody could pretend to be you and call all the parents of the students and say, I'm going to collect contributions at the end of the month, send money to this bank account. Aba, after a few months, teacher, ay may kaso ka na sa ombudsman dahil nakitang nangolekta ka ng funds from your students. Okay, and many other examples. You also have scams and schemes. Ang dami na pong nai-scam sa atin. And very common, child trafficking. Marami na rin pong cases ng ganyan. Ano? We know that there's already like sexual, cybercrime, sex cybercrime involving our children. So what can we do? Suggestions for teachers and learners: create strong passwords and you change it regularly. Kung ang password nyo po ay password, ay palitan nyo na po. O ba yung password nyo, yung inyong mga birthday. Remember that when you created your Facebook account, you have put there your birthday. Okay. Clear your browser history every week, especially if you open account in a net shop. What happens ba if you don't clear your browser history? Yun yung mga nakakatanggap na nga kayo ng maraming mga online ads in your Facebook account because your browser history is telling these ads people to be sending you materials. Check your contact lists on your phones. Sa inyong mga Facebook accounts, tanggalin nyo na po lahat ng listahan ng relationships ninyo na married to home, son, daughter, cousin, etc. Why? Or sa cellphone. Kung ang receive po ng mga anak ninyo sa contacts list nila nakalagay mom, dad, kuya, teacher, palitan nyo na po yun. Put your real name. Why? If the magnanakaw gets hold of the cell phone of your anak, it's easy for them to identify who are the significant people in their lives. Do not post your children's photos showing their school uniform or IDs. It's very easy for the kidnapper to track where they are from. In fact, nai-release na po ang bagong ID ng DepEd at ang dami kong nakitang DepEd friends ko na nag-post ng screenshot ng kanilang mga IDs. It's very easy for you to become a victim of identity theft if you do that. Ideally, children should not be allowed to access the internet without adult guidance. Pero working mom ka nga so walang magbabantay sa anak mo. Well, if we cannot really bantay our children, there's this, check it out, Casper Sky Safe Kids, which is digital parental control. You can install it on your laptop or on their desktop para makontrol po yung use ng inyong mga anak ng kanilang computer when they hook into the internet. On social media, tell your children and yourself, do not post mga home alone or ATM on the way to the mall. Okay, madali kayong sundan. Do not post photos of minors. In fact, in countries like South Korea and Japan, bawal pong i-post ang picture ng mga bata. Tayo, sa Pilipinas, buwan-buwan na birthday ng anak, sige, pinupost natin yung mga picture. But then, I had one webinar, somebody asked me, I'm proud of my child's achievement, kaya ni-post ko yung picture niya. O sige po, i-post nyo, but change the privacy setting. Yung bang friends nyo lang ang makakasi. Huwag nyo naman po ipo-public. I saw YouTube file na it's a tutorial on how you can make an image look naked. Can you imagine somebody can be photoshopping the picture of your teenage daughter at pinakalat na naked pala. Do not post pictures of your IDs, LRNs, your homeschool address, cars with plate number showing. Cover your webcam when not in use. Lalo na pag unlimited internet connection ka, nakakalimutan nating i-close yung ating laptop. So my husband advised me, get a sheet of paper and always cover your webcam. All right. Let's go to the third, which is digital footprint and identity. Teaching us that our online behavior defines who we are. Because the problem is this, the digital world is permanent. Maaring sinabi mong, ni-delete ko naman yung aking ni-post, but somebody must have made a screenshot out of it at hindi mo na yun mariretrieve pag na-spread na. Nauso yan ngayon, mga Face app, TikTok. Remember that all the photos and videos that you upload on these free apps, such as Face app and TikTok, are theirs in perpetuity. It means forever sa kanila na yun. Kung binasa niyo po yung terms of use, ang sinasabi doon, you are agreeing that Face app or TikTok will make use of your photo or your video in any form, in any platform that they wish to. And because you have agreed, wala na po kayong magagawa. Use it at your own risk. Maybe you are saying, oh, I've been doing it na for a long time and nothing has happened to me naman. Then you are lucky. But we can never tell if there will be a first time. You call it paranoia, I call it vigilance. You call it fear-mongering, I call it precaution. Knowing that there are possible crimes that could happen against me and my children would make me more careful with my behavior online. Another issue is a lot of us have conflicting online and offline identity. So we have to teach our children, anak, you don't have to be envious or jealous of what your friends are posting because what they post there may not necessarily be their real personality. See, the self-image we project online can have an impact on our future professional life. So, sasabihan na po natin yung ating mga estudyante na gano'n. Okay, so what are suggestions? All right, first, teachers, consider having 2 FB accounts. One for your personal use and the second for your professional and academic use, especially if hindi mo maiwasang mag-post ng mga kadramahan sa buhay mo. So, your choice. Would you like all the parents of your students get into your personal life? But I only have 1 Facebook account. That is because hindi naman po ako mahilig mag-post ng mga hinaing ko at mga hugot ko sa buhay. Practice discretion in posting photos and opinions that may lead to controversy or destroy your self-image. And you change your settings. Gawin nyo na lang pong seen by friends. At huwag nyo na lang pong i-public na. Kung masyado kayong mahilig mag-post ng mga kontrobersiya at drama sa inyong buhay. Okay. So, nakalahati na po natin. We're now on the 4th, which is relationships and communication. Because we know that the power of words, that there is power in the use of words and actions. You know, there is a reason why there is a verse in the Bible which says, in the beginning is the word. Hindi siya, in the beginning is the picture, or in the beginning is the music. Because words can be very powerful. They can either make or break a person. And each person has the right to self-determination online. Because what are the issues that are committed in terms of relationships and communication? Most common, these are violations on the principles of personal digital ethics. And I've listed 3 that I commonly see. The first is doxing. What is doxing? Posting something that is not yours, but you did not ask the consent of somebody else from posting it. Sample. Nag-group picture kayo. Ay dahil nakita mo maganda yung mukha mo sa picture, pinost mo na. You did not ask the consent of all the people in the group picture whether they want it posted or not. Remember, principle is everyone has the right to self-determination online. Another, ni-screenshot mo yung output ng estudyante mo dahil nagandahan ka, but you did not ask the permission of your student whether he wants it to be posted or not. Marami pa. Yung dati mong estudyante, nakapasa ng board exam, eh dahil epal ka at nauna kang nakabalita, pinost mo na, ni hindi mo binigyan ng pagkakataon yung batang yon to broadcast to the world. Alright. Another is framing. Pinaghalong two words, Facebook and rating. How does this happen? The privacy setting of your child's Facebook account is public. Anybody is free to post on it. An evil person, maybe a classmate or another person, will post on the wall of your daughter or even you a sexually explicit material to try to destroy your integrity. Another is outing. This is making a screenshot of a part of your group chat or your text message exchanges dahil nakita ng estudyante or parent ng estudyante mo na English teacher ka at puro may Grammy Award winner yung instruction mo sa iyong group chat, ni-screenshot nila yon, ni-post nila in public and said, oh, ito ang English teacher ng aking mga anak. That's outing. What are suggestions then? Always ask someone's consent before posting anything that concerns them. Sabi ng kumare mong teacher, Mare, sa wakas buntis na rin ako. Aba, pinost mo na, congratulations on your new baby. Hindi mo man siya binagyan ng pagkakataon siya ang magbalita sa mundo. Teachers, make GC contracts. Rules must be in place. Tell your students, in our group chat, it can be Edmodo or Facebook private page or your messenger group chat, no emojis. Why? A simple emoji can destroy a person's emotional well-being. Pansin ko lang, teacher, lahat ng classmates kong favorite mo, nila-like mo, niha-heart mo, niha-heart mo yung kanilang mga comments. Ako hanggang thumbs up lang. Anong meron? Okay? No stickers, no GIFs. And teachers, the thing is consistency. Kung nag-react ka sa comment ng iba at sa may hindi ka na-commentan, it can cause a lot of mental anguish. So I would suggest, gawin yung global engineering, yung pagbigay ninyo ng response, ng reactions to your students. Make it every week na lang per student. Another rule, I would say this, only teachers will reply or react to or on someone's comment. Why? In the old normal, sa classroom, okay lang na may mag-react sa ni-recite ng classmate. Why? Because if the reaction starts to become rude, you teacher can just say, let's be quiet now, you may take your seat. Eh pag sa group chat niya ni-comment ng rude yung kanyang classmate, at nabasa na nila, it could already cause a lot of emotional and mental anguish. Never screenshot any part of the group chat and post in public. Say that to your students and to yourself. Never give others contact details without their consent. Oy, may parent na may business na networking. I have nothing against networking. At sabi niya sa'yo, teacher, akin naman na yung cellphone number ng lahat ng parents. O yung pala, bibentahan niya lahat sila ng sabong pampaputi. Diba? Always BCC group emails. What's BCC? Blind carbon copy all the group emails. Why? Because not everybody would want the classmates or colleagues to know their personal email address. Set sanctions for violations. Kung ako yung teacher, I would say for any violation, you will be suspended from this group chat for 5 days, something like that. All right. Cyberbullying, digital drama, and hate speech. That's number 5. This principle should teach us that we are kind and courageous because the issues Kung noon po sa inyong face-to-face classroom, marami ng bullying na nangyayari, I would say there would be a lot of bullying online. And the common are trolling and harassing. A person who likes to start an argument, para lang may argument at maipakitang mas magaling siya sa iba, ang tawag sa kanya ay troll. And that could happen in your group classes, in your online classes. Another is exclusion. Hindi nyo mapapansin to, teachers. Sa group chat nyo, may group na close friends sila. They would support each other's comments, like, heart, haha, each other's comments. Tapos meron palang isa o dalawa na hindi nila pinapansin. Ang feeling nung batang yon, excluded siya from that group chat. You know, guys, one of the most painful feelings, no, ay yung sin zone ka lang, hindi pinapansin. When I wrote this book, Give Me Space, although this is more for face-to-face classroom transaction, I already said that exclusion is one of the worst forms of bullying. Bakit? Dahil it's something that the teacher doesn't notice. And a kid who feels that he doesn't belong already feels bullied. Another form of bullying is denigration, smart shaming, o kahit yung mga pinakamatalinong estudyante nyo, pwedeng i-attack ng mga bullies. Kahit nga ikaw na teacher, pwede nilang i-smart shame or body shaming. Another is cyber-stalking. They just follow and check everything that you do online dahil aabangan nila if you will commit a mistake and they intend to destroy your identity. And of course, you have online libel. Careful po, teachers. Baka we are committing online libel against our superiors, our principal, and then you say, ay, di ko naman sinulat yung pangalan niya Pero sinulat mo naman, pinost mo, ang principal kong hindi marunong magpatulog. O bakit? Ilan pa principal mo? Di ba isa lang? Okay, and we teachers, we are models to our students. We should not post our banners and hugots. Dami nagpo-post ngayon ng mga problema at hinaing nila sa kanilang mga trabaho. So what are my suggestions? If you are the perpetrator, ikaw yung nambubully, seek counseling for your mental health. By all means, contact niyo si Dr. Sheikh Hoxon, no, if you need this counseling. Because hindi ginagawa ng isang normal na tao ang manira ng damdamin ng iba. If you were the victim, ignore, screenshot, you block the person, pero kung classmate mo, paano mo i-block? O di i-report mo sa iyong teacher so that it will be stopped. We teach our students to be upstanders. What is this? If you notice a classmate is being bullied online, huwag ka nang makisawsaw. Instead, you help lift up this kid. Be fair. The principle of responsible digital citizenship is all about the golden rule. Treat others the same way you would like others to treat you. No to swear words. Teachers, ang dami ko pong nababasa ng mga post ninyo, kahit pinapalitan nyo yung spelling, you say, putik na buhay to. Alam pa rin naman namin what it means. No to swear words. We already have the RA 11313, which is the bawal bastos law. And there are already sanctions on this. And when you do the libel, guys, when you make kahit yung accusation ninyo ay totoo because you use the social media as your platform to broadcast your accusation, it's still libel. And my dear teachers, libel is kulungable. And now we're down to the last, which is news and media literacy, because we are critical thinkers and creators. The most common issues, naku naman, usong-uso ngayon yan, fake news. Because a lot of people do not possess the right literacy to distinguish between what is truth and opinion, myth, and half-truth. May nakita kang headline. Sample teachers ha, napansin ko to. Sabi ng headline, ni-share nyo eh. Sweldo ng teachers, minimum 30,000 by year 2020. Hala, sige, pinost nyo, shinare nyo, tuwang-tuwa kayo dahil nandun naman daw yung logo ng Philippine Daily Inquirer. Oh, it's just so easy, you know, to do that, to get somebody's logo. Ay, hindi nyo binasa yung buong article, ate. Yung last paragraph nakasulat doon, ipanalangin nating magkatotoo ito. O, di ba? So, you read the whole article before you make any reactions. We lived in a photoshopped world. We live in a cropped world. Hey, then, cropped tayo ngayon. You're wearing a blouse, ready for a seminar, but I wouldn't stand because I'm wearing chinelas and shorts. Umamin kayo. Like majority of you out there, you are cropped right now. See, not everything, you tell our children, not every image that you see online is the reality. So we can teach them to be more vigilant and be wiser in interpreting these things. There are a lot of edited videos. We were looking into this material. It's called Deep Fake. In experiment nila, no, asking the people, there is a video of Barack Obama delivering a speech. And then they had a poll with the people and asked them, is this Barack Obama delivering the speech? And 90% of them said yes, because it's the voice of Barack and the face of Barack. And then the creator of the video said, it's not a real video. They digitally edited it. Yun yung sinasabi ko, going back to the Face app. And the TikTok, they could digitally edit the videos that you upload to those apps. Copyright and plagiarism issues. Asahan ninyo, teachers, if you do not check the materials that are being sent by your students, these are plagiarized. Or probably, baka meron po kayong mga ghost students or ghost writers. Marami na pong mga website offering services that they will accomplish the requirements of students. Kaya nga po sinasuggest ko yung handwritten output para maiwasan natin, mabawasan at least. And then you would say, ni handwrite niya nga, pero kinopya niya rin from somebody. But then I would say, at least in the process na sinusulat ng anak ko, may natututunan siya dun sa kinokopya niya. So suggestions, teachers and learners, always cite your sources. Teach learners to identify reliable sources. Siguro maglista na po tayo ng mga websites that are reliable and websites. I'll just mention one. Like Adobo Chronicles is admittedly a website that is meant for entertainment and laughter. So you don't believe the things they post in their website as news. Read the whole article before reacting or commenting. Just recently, Hayden, no, nakita ko na ang daming nag-comment na teachers about daw yung sinabi ni Secretary Leonor Briones na you can actually teach math through dances and songs. Ay, naku naman, in reality, kung babasahin niyo yung buong article, may tama naman si Ma'am Briones. You can, sabi niya, hindi niya sinabing you should. And dami yung mga comment na, may tuturo mo ba sa dance, yung geometric angle and quadratic equation? She said, you can. She did not say, you should. Now, handwritten output would minimize possibilities of having ghost students. And so, my dear friends, these 6 principles, I would encourage you to go to the website of commonsense.org. They have a lot of teaching materials to guide you on how you can integrate RDC into your everyday lessons. But the principle is this. With or without COVID, talagang hindi na po natin maiiwasan na we are consumers of digital materials. And we have to be responsible when we use this. But then because of this pandemic, teachers I feel you. I'm not a teacher anymore and I don't envy you, but I feel you kung gaano po kahirap to be managing your online classes. So when I made lista these things, I had in mind like, how will I even, if I were the teacher, how will I even make my life easier? So if you will visit my Facebook page, LASC Learning Solutions, may ginawa po akong mahaba-habang article doon, which is entitled, Handling My Online Forum. I gave their suggestions on how I would have made my life easier if I were the teacher. But the basic thing is this. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be so time consuming, especially teacher ka na, parent ka pa. But if we can just share ideas on how to make our lives easier as teachers right now, this is the reason for this advocacy that I'm doing right now. Kung naka-pick up po kayo ng strategies, go ahead. Gamitin nyo, i-share nyo sa iba. If you have your own strategies, share it with us so we could also try it out. Some of these strategies will become tragedies. Sometimes you will succeed, sometimes you will fail, but we will not stop in keeping trying. Why? Because if love for our students is the reason for becoming more responsible when we use digital materials, then we can never go wrong. It's going to be very hard, teachers. But let this be our motivation. We are following the footsteps of the greatest teacher of all, and that is Jesus Christ. And no matter how hard it is, I believe we will survive this school year with flying colors. Thank you. Good morning to all of you, and I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Doc Leah, for the very informative and very powerful session that we've had. Even Celeste Dumas mentioned that she had several aha moments. Claire Minoza mentioned that the topic is very interesting and relevant, and the delivery of the topic is very good daw po. So, and even Lucky Boy Antoque, Jane Lagman, they both agree, and other viewers agree, both in the FB Live and in the Zoom account call. Maria Glenda de la Peña said that it's very substantial, and even Marvin Marco mentioned something about as teachers, we already know what to do, and the situation is really challenging. So this is a very good opportunity for us to learn, together. So for questions po, Doc Leah, and I encourage everyone to keep on typing your questions using the Q&A function of Zoom, and even type your questions sa FB Live or sa chat if you're not familiar with the Q&A function of Zoom. But for the first question po, Doc Leah, this is from Melanie.
Before the first question, I'd like to comment, react lang. Celeste and the rest of you when saying aha moments. Ako po ang unang natauhan. Kasi yung mga nilista ko ay mga violations po din yung iba doon. So, nag-aha moments din po ako when I was preparing this material. So, thank you.
Yeah. And we'd also like to mention si Al-Qasim Kiyawa from University of Utara in Malaysia. So from Malaysia pa, Doc Leah, marami po talagang nanood. Actually, there are 501 attendees in Zoom and even 175 po sa FB Live. Yan. Okay.
So those from Malaysia, and I was code switching in Tagalog.
Okay. So ang ano po ay from Melanie Jimenez, she mentioned that she attended a webinar encouraging the lazy rule daw po, meaning putting very few words in your slides and simplifying everything in a PowerPoint as a communicative virtual strategy. Her question is, do you encourage this too, or she's asking if it would compromise the mastery of content? And probably the third part would be, can you give them tips on how not to compromise mastery of content in virtual classrooms?
Yes. The first point is on the last number, there's the rule of yung iba 7-7, yung iba 6, no? Not more than 6 words per line, not more than 6 lines in a slide. Okay po yun. So you can have the PowerPoint presentation while you are delivering your video presentation. Pero kung gusto nyo naman in support or supplement ng inyong video presentation, which is in the form of handouts, go ahead, put there the content. You would know kung alin yung pertinent, yung important contents, kung mga trivial siguro, wag na natin nilalagay lahat. So, di ba sinabi nga nila na sa DepEd ngayon, binabawasan na natin yung content. Kaya, so, it's just one story, like when my daughter was 8 years old, sabi ko, bakit tulog? Ay, gising ka pa, alas 10 na. Mommy, I have to memorize all the provinces daw in, this. Sabi ko, matulog ka na. Si Barack Obama, presidente, pero hindi niya alam lahat ng mga probinsang yan. But, guys, I'm not downplaying yung nature ng subject. What I'm saying is, this time, let's be wise enough to know kung alin yung pwede na nating tagpasin from the materials. Sige. Meron pa bang component ng question, Hayden, na hindi ko nasagot?
Okay naman po, no, Doc Leah. I think tama naman po talaga na, and it's a challenge for us teachers to make the content more engaging. And that is why I think sinasabi rin naman po dun sa question na, sinabi nyo rin po na putting few words, kahit yung 6 or 7 rule, will not definitely jeopardize the content of the material. It's your also delivery. But we are mindful also of the needs of the learners kasi sila yung nakatingin sa computer. Kasi kung tayo nga po, di ba, nabobore tayo kung sobrang dami nung babasahin
yung font style, iwasan niyo pong gumamit ng mga serif fonts. Kasi daw, additional strain to the eyes. Yung serif, yung marami pang mga yung Times Roman, yung sa serif font. Mag-Arial na lang kayo or the whole, kabawasan pa din daw yon sa ipoprocess ng mata. Something like that. In addition to that, as an English teacher nga, I'm encouraging language teachers to go task-based, integrate. Kausapin ko na yung math teacher and science teacher na yung ipapabasa kong material sa kanila sa reading comprehension, pwede bang material na lang sa science o sa araling panlipunan para naman hindi napakamaraming ipoprocess nila na materials.
Yes. Okay. At saka kung natatandaan po natin, DepEd teachers, ang inaano natin na ang pinupush po ng DepEd ngayon is the most essential learning competency. So we boil down to the really essential competencies and make sure that it's not information overload for our learners. We also have a question here. It's a two-part question, Doc Leah. It's from Lizelle Anne-Marie Manabat, and even Belen Acuna mentioned this, that any thoughts on cyberbullying issues? Because both of them mentioned that cyberbullying issues or cases will be on the rise this coming school year since students will use their gadget and social media most of the time. And last po, ng second part ng question na yon ay how to protect naman teachers from CPP or Child Protection Policy now that they are engaging students online.
True, oo. Marami talaga yan. Even you teachers will be bullied by your students and by their parents. Kaya nga, doon sa essay na ginawa ko, feel free po na basahin ninyo yun. I put there like this, kung ako yung teacher nga, gagawa ako ng rules na in our group chat, we will uphold respect, use respectful words, and then yung mga do's and don'ts. And then I would assign a weekly or a daily monitor para hindi naman ako na teacher ang nagmo-monitor. Na kung may mag-violate ng ganon, then masa-sanction siya, pwedeng ma-suspend siya from that group chat for 5 days. Pwede yun. Or sa inyong parent-teacher conference, sabihin na rin po natin sa ating mga parents na yung group chat po namin, mga mommies and daddies, exclusive lang po namin yon between my children, your students and me. Kung may katanungan po kayo, you say it to your children, and then yung children nyo po ang mag-i-encode nun. Kontrata po namin yan, learning contract namin, and we are all bound by this contract. See, we have at least, if you can experiment, hopefully mabawasan naman yung ganoong cases ng cyberbullying.
Yan. So, tama po, no? Setting rules. Kaya pareho po nang nabanggit nyo pa ulit-ulit kanina that it's important for us to set rules. Speaking of rules, Haruna Alcasim, no, Kiawa, an international student in applied linguistics from University Otara, Malaysia, has a question on how do we manage children when we like teach online with aggressive behavior. So, if for example po, parang nasa FB chat, tapos may mga binabanggit sila ng mga bad words probably, or during an online instruction, hindi rin po siya masyadong, nag-misbehave po siya. So, do you have any tips on how to do that?
Yes, because from the start, we set rules before, okay, welcome to this group chat. This is a list of our rules. These are words that you cannot say, you cannot embarrass anybody there. Tapos, if somebody does it na nga, if somebody does it, I shouldn't code switch because the one who asked the question is from Malaysia. If somebody commits that bullying, being aggressive, then maybe you could send a private message to this person. You have just been aggressive and you've been hurtful to other people in your comments. So, because we already had the contract from the very start, you will be suspended for 5 days. But you can continue to communicate with me personally. Pwede siguro yun. Possible that the aggression is because the kids' love needs are not being met by the parents. That is why that kid is desperately looking for attention from you and from the classmates. We cannot just readily say that, oh, this kid has a mental problem. We may label it as aggressive behavior, but it's actually a desperate cry for attention. I need to feel that I belong, to feel that I am loved.
Thank you, Doc Leah. And I think this also answers...
If it's repetitive already, we can advise the parents that why don't we seek the expert professional help from counselors?
Yeah. And so thank you po, Doc Leah. And I think it also answers Abigail Interno's question, no, about not like how do we sanction, no, a student who do not follow rules, but it's also it depends on the rule that you've set, no.
Yes, and maybe from the start, the first 2 or 3 days of your virtual class, you get the suggestions of your students instead of you teacher saying this will be your punishment. So you ask them, let's have brainstorming. What do you think should be the sanctions for people, for students who will commit this, so that the learning group chat contract becomes a collective effort.
Yan. Doc Leah, meron pong isa pang question, no? And we're actually down to the last few minutes of our webinar. The question is, what can you advise teachers whose students are digitally challenged, including their internet connectivity? And it might entail additional work for teachers since they will deliver teaching in a different mode.
Yeah, that's right. Like I've seen those posts from DepEd saying na you can choose the option that you like. Kawawa naman akong teacher, I will prepare video materials, I'll prepare printed modules pa. I don't know the answer. I don't
Medyo
know.
mahirap nga po, no? I think based on what the Department of Education suggests po is to use the multimodal approach. You can, but I think it's more on collaboration with teachers, perhaps.
That's right. See, maybe it's like this. Instead of meeting per subject area, you meet per grade level. Let's say grade 7 level. Okay, friends, how can we make, to limit the lesson, and we just integrate the English with the science, the math with like this, so that we can limit, and then we can just produce a module that is already integrative, something like that. So it's
I
really a lot
believe.
of experimenting. You only have the month of July and the first half of August to be, going through a lot of brainstorming. And I pray that God will give you the wisdom, really. But then when you have genuine love for your students, you will wake up in the morning with bright ideas that you can do for your classes.
Yan po. Last question from Rafael Silan. No, this is somehow related with Jonathan Bonaobra's question also, regarding digital citizenship. It's a bit philosophical, so if you can share your thoughts about it. Can we measure digital citizenship now that we are moving towards that? And as teachers, how can we measure digital citizenship po kaya?
I cannot say, I don't know if there is a scientific or mathematical way to measure digital citizenship, but I would say that a person who upholds responsibility in digital citizenship is one who always thinks this: if I post this online, would it be beneficial both to me and to all the consumers of the things that I post online? There's a verse in the Bible that says, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Again, let's go back to the rule of empathy. And if you are putting other people first, their emotions, their mental well-being, when you do something online, then you are a responsible digital citizen.
Thank you, Doc Leah, and thank you everyone for participating to today's webinar. I agree, no, na talaga naman po na being a digital citizen is being mindful, no, and being responsible sa ating actions. Even kahit hindi naman po digital, pagiging citizen of the world. Yeah. So maraming pong salamat. And Doc Leah, they are asking questions po on how they can access the slides.
Yeah, like they go to, well, first, of course, you will post this also, the recorded version on the PSTD page. So you can actually take notes of my slides, and then you can visit LASC Learning Solutions page. I still have the video there na naka-embed na yung aking slides. So you can access that. Feel free to share. But if you want just the slides without me there, I'm not sharing it. Because if your purpose is just to echo to your friends, then go ahead, freely share my video with the slides there already and the article that I wrote.
So tama po. PSTD has the recorded webinars. You can also check out yesterday's webinar. No, it's also there. And the previous webinars that they have hosted. And Doc Leah has a page. You can check out yung LASC Learning Solutions. At that, we copy pasted it in the chat and also in the FB Live. So please feel free to check it out po. Para po sa
and don't forget to like the page and just share the material.
Yeah, and share away because we want to learn, no? Dito po sa ating. All right.
And I enjoy chatting with you. It's like being with you face to face. Like we just lack a cup of coffee siguro.
I hope to meet you po in person soon, and also other participants that we have here.
I was also receiving some private messages of those who are here thanking me or saying hi. Well, I'd like to thank you back for your kind words. It only takes a good person to appreciate the goodness in others. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those kind words. And for our viewers, teachers, participants, and even parents, we are all in this together. The challenge of the pandemic is upon us, and we are made for this, no? Kayang-kaya po natin to. At hirap man, Pero kung magpapatuloy at magsasama-sama po tayong lahat, I'm pretty sure nakakayanin po ito. Don't forget to like LASC Learning Solutions and also the PSTD page. And last po, no, if you're free tomorrow, please join the Chillax conversation po yun. They'll be talking about the webinars that happened this week. It's at 7 p.m. So please make sure that you mark it on your calendar and join if you're free. It's fun, learning, and also chit-chatting with other participants as well. So thank you po. Maraming salamat. And we wish you a very good day.